Hello and welcome to the next episode of this disaster series, which this one really is all about my life, because what we are going to do today is we are going to sort out all of this. So over the next couple of days for me and one more than likely very long episode for you, we are finally going to get all of these bits and pieces in the correct place. So we started off with the Rivendell, so we'll carry on at the back. Bits and pieces will get moved. The fan, I'm afraid, might have to move as well. That'll go down into a different area or on a table ready to go onto a new display. That'll be down in the unboxing area. We'll go down to that unboxing area because that really is a disaster now, because we've had a big sort of windy storm last night and it's now ripped all the felt off the roof. So we'll have a look at that and see what we can do with that. And then obviously we will finish by this monstrosity just here, which is what was the failed Christmas special. I nearly got it done. So this is going to sit in this corner just here. So Merry Christmas to you all. Hopefully you had a good one. Depending on when this is uploaded, it'll either just be just before or just after Christmas, but it will be before the new year. That's why I want to get all of this ready. So I'll basically want to be good to go in 2024 with regards to what is going to go where. So first thing first, what I want to do is I want to climb back underneath the table, start as far away as possible, and then work my way forward. So we've gone old school for the rocket fuel, and we've got the Christmas Pringles, because it is yet to be Christmas at the moment. So a countdown is on. Today is Friday, Christmas is on the Monday. So like I said, depending on when this gets uploaded, again, Merry Christmas to you all. Now, we got to here last time. We started to make good progress. So we got the Rivendell all moved over. Now don't forget, if you are wondering what I've been going on about, this is one very large theme park that we're going to be turning all of this into. All of this is just going to be one big theme park. It's all going to be tiled. The UCS sets for the Star Wars is just going to be big rides and that kind of thing. It was there or thereabouts there, and then the floor fell through. I had to stack all the tables on top of each other. Then I started to pile everything back on top of each other. We started to make good progress. Then there was a leak in the roof. It all came back up in here, hence all the boxes. So all of these are going to get flat packed today so I can actually move around and actually have some space. And then, like I said, that disastrous unboxing area, I'm going to take you down there, figure out exactly what's what. Just pretend maybe the roof doesn't exist for another couple of days, but I do want to size up a new display area with some calyxes across the back, and then see if I can put the table at the angle, and then that might be where we actually finish, which then means the one that follows this might be a trip to IKEA, which is always painful and exciting for nobody at the same time. So I think first thing first, what we're going to do is we are going to start off with this thing just here. Like I said, I've got loads and loads of bits and pieces to move. I was going to put this on the display somewhere else. I was just going to put it in one of these calyx cubes. So the stuff that can't fit can go in one of those cubes. But because that is trees and it's part of the haunted bit, we've added the haunted house in, I think potentially that will fit just there. So I am hoping not to fall down the loft ladders and break my neck just before Christmas, and I am hoping this will actually fit widthways, because it is something I have not yet done. And if it does fit, it means that we can carry on with the path directly underneath, and it does. We have lost one thing though, because this is very fragile at the moment. It's been moved a lot, but I think that will work quite nicely all tucked in on there. So obviously I can space this. I can space this out. In fact, they can just be touching like that, and then we can put a bit of graveyard scene at the front, because obviously it's all going to snake through, and then we can just carry on with the path underneath. Now that leaves us to the Hawkins Police Department, I think, as a bit of an egg. I think it'd be quite nice just having an abandoned car there. Now, do we have that at the front? I think we might do. So can that just be tucked in on the angle just there? Does that work? Yeah, I think that's okay. If I put you hands free, because like I said, all of this is going to get tiled, and then we're going to make a full-blown path out of it. Obviously some of these minifigures are going to have to come off, because you can see we've got them dangling off from underneath for all the challenges and things that we've done. We've got the Ghostbuster bits up there because it was going to be all part of the haunted bit, and all of these minifigures will end up coming off. But so far we have got, we'll start from there. So that's all going to be the new Jurassic Park, or the original Jurassic Park set, shall I say, not the new ones. It's the newer sets that have come out, but it's obviously the oldest film. That's that table, and then we're going to have the waterfall feeding it at some point. All of this I think is going to look very good, so we can come through, wrap round. Now we've got space here, so obviously this at the moment can just stay there, because it can just be my space. We've got 32 by 32 paste plate and a little bit. That obviously is not going to stay there. That is going to have to move. That then leads us into this alleyway, which I think looks very nice. If you didn't see this get put together, I think after a long-winded way around it, I think that looks quite smart, to be honest, with regards to all the different paths and things. And this one will be for the track, and then it would have the bank just on top. So that is basically the ride, and that's going to be all of our walkthrough attractions. So again, with all the leaves and things, that works very, very well. What doesn't work is this. So this Harry Potter castle will have to come up, off and gone. That can get placed very gently, that means thrown back into its box, and then that can just be worried about at a different time. To be honest, I might just end up mocking that with use the pieces for something else, because I think those tan pieces and the rockery might work well within potentially the Star Wars section as well. Or I rebuild it and I use it on this new display area that I'm thinking of down the bottom. But I don't think this will, obviously that won't fit in a Kallax cube, so you're going to have to put them in separate bits. That's the problem with some of the bigger ones and the Kallaxes. It won't take them, but we'll figure that out, like I said, towards the end of the video. And same thing with this as well, like something like that will go in a Kallax cube potentially. It's not going to fit over there at the moment because it is just such a mess. Now, what the plan is with this, we'll just do a recap over everything, is that all of this is all going to be sort of your medieval, sort of spooky, mythical type thing, which means, I think we finished it last time, potentially getting the medieval blacksmith, which I've just missed in a massive, massive sale, which is really, really annoying. I think that would have looked quite smart in there somewhere. Potentially the big castle might work there. The alleyway can't go in that far corner because I won't be able to see that bit that I've just shown you and that bit that I've just shown you. But don't forget, we're going to have the height of that just there. So maybe we've got the Harry Potter sort of wizardry area here, and then it moves on to either 2 more sections or 1 other bigger section. And I'm not too sure what that bigger section will be. This is the problem, trying to do it blind, but at the same time it is a good bit of fun. From there we go into the Ninjago / Monkey Kid. Now, as it stands at the moment, we have got the space here. That's why I've actually probably just dumped that there, so I didn't put anything there. We've got that there to make space for the new set that is already out and about. So we've got the city, the docks, we've got the gardens, is the market. That was the word I'm after. We are looking for the market. Now, this stuff. Castle is staying, needs to be finished. We've only got a couple of bags and then we are good to go with that. And obviously what I want to do is all the boxes that need to be finished or built can be stacked somewhere. All of the other boxes that are done can be flat packed, like that massive shadow box. That all needs to be back. All the inners need to come out. So I do all the unboxing bits and pieces, and that is the problem doing it up here, because I've got nowhere to put the stuff. And if I want to do comparison stuff with regards to the boxes and things, I just can't up here. I know, heart bleeds. Now over here it's all going to be Star Wars, so obviously this should hopefully be simple enough just to spread out. Some of these I think are going to be dangling off the ceiling. Some of them, depending on how big that and how much space that takes up, I think we could get, with the boxes, a very, very rough display at the end of this video for the Star Wars section as well. I think that would work because we've got the cantina up at the top. Got to find a home for the Flintstones. There are odds and sods that might not potentially work. Now I am thinking UCS Falcon on a stand at the angle with the cantina behind it, and that's Tatooine sorted and done. Easy as that. I think that's going to be the display for that one. So I need to gather my thoughts quickly, get some rocket fuel inside me. The biggest thing that I need to think of is, do we just have the coaster mixed in with the land, or do we keep it separate and have it almost as like a adventure sort of thrill seekers section? Because the loop coaster I need to keep space for, because that is 100% going to get purchased in 2024, so next year, because obviously it's still 2023, unless I treat myself something nice for Christmas, and then I might be laughing at myself when I edit this together, but I haven't done that yet, so we will see. Things are getting done. I am in the process of just picking up all the inner bags from our little project that we had to do, and slowly all this is starting to go. The floor, on the other hand, absolutely disgraceful. And well, do I even show you? Where's it? I don't even know where I don't even know where I've just put it. I've just found a Speed Champions car with a minifigure sat in a seat in the frame with no panels on. So I've no idea how that got down underneath that, but again, it is what it is. So you guys and girls hear me say, oh, I've knocked that, stood on that. I'm now finding it and regretting every single step. But I found this. Completely forgot I had this. It's not even built. It's had something on it because it popped the box open, but it just means now I have another ship to add to it. I remember getting it, just forgot I had it. So what I am going to do now is I want to get the He-Man castle moved. So that He-Man castle is going to go over there, I think. I think that's the best place. That's the best place for it. So that will have to move first. And that means I need to make some space in the disaster area and start down there. So I want to get some bits out of here into there. So as you can see, the felt has decided to start to unpeel itself, and the worst thing, that's not even where it's leaking from. So this room is just as much a disaster as the other one. Now, if you're wondering what is going on, there was a huge leak up at the top, and now with the wind, I can't get up there because it's far too windy, it's starting to peel all of that back. So I'm still got the anticipation and an intention of getting this sorted and fixed, but doing bits and pieces that are here in this corner. Now, the plan is that the configuration I've got at the moment is a bit of a nightmare because of all the shelving and everything like that. So it works well with regards to just adjusting it, but I think with regards to having more storage, I've got a lot of wasted air. I want to get some of the Kallax units and basically have one that way, one against that wall. The light meets in the corner, have the table, have the chair, and it comes out. So to be able to do that is going to be a right pain in the backside, because obviously I've had to move everything into the middle where it's leaking. Now I want to see if it fits roughly, if it works and if it fits. But I'm now looking at that roof, and the whole board up at the top has completely cracked away. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's all the way through. It's almost like where the board joins, and it's just given up. So I really need to either put something back underneath it, recheck the felt, because all of this dripped onto all of this. And now this is the instruction booklet for the 3-in-1 set. All of that stuff, all the magazines, they're all ruined. There's absolutely no way that they're usable, because it's all, well, look, it's all stuck together and still soaking wet. But I do like this area. It works very, very well. I want this to be the building area. I just want it set up permanently, but I can't have all the electrics in here when it's leaking as much as what it is. But at the same time, I can get the roof fixed and get everything built potentially all in one day, but I need to see if I can measure up a Kallax with regards to floor to ceiling, so I know how high to go, because I'm thinking maybe 2/8, so 2 8-cubes, or 4/8, and then you've got a huge amount of display stuff. That way I can just throw all of these in here, and then a lot of the different bits and pieces that aren't going to be able to be used with a theme park setting, like for example the Speed Champion sets and that kind of thing. And that way I think it might look quite nice as a display, as a backdrop when I do all the unboxing bits and pieces, because at the moment I've got nowhere to do it. I know, again, heart bleeds for everybody. Now the other thing that I was thinking about was Jay. We did a live last night. Jay's Toy Collection UK jumped on and was joking about that Ventnor, the UCS Ventnor. I've been going on about that set for ages. That is more just peeled off. That's what that noise was. I thought something needed to come through the ceiling then. So that really did. I'm gonna have to get up there without the camera and just hope for the best. I think with how sturdy that set is, it will work in this environment, because I'll move it all the time. Whereas the other UCS sets can't be moved. They literally just stay still. So potentially, depending on the height of an 8-cube, so say for example if the 8-cube comes yay high and that sets on top of it, you will see that all the time in the unboxing videos. So there is potential, because we're going to have a big display up at the top. You can see the delay tactics, because what you can't see is everything else that is in here, including boxes of Christmas decorations and everything that I have just thrown into the middle. I've got hours of work just in here. Right, I'm changed. I'm nowhere near a roofer. I can't even do Lego sets properly, but we're going to climb up and have a look. So this should be interesting. Now, I've got, hopefully, the gutter runs across the back. So if the gutter's just clogged and it's all full of nonsense, I think it's just coming in that way. So I think hopefully that is all that's to do with. And then I can just basically bodge and patch repair on the inside and just see what's what. The bit directly up above me, I know I'm going to need some roofing nails. I'm just going to see how many I'm going to need, and then I might just have to shoot off to a DIY store. I told you this disaster series, it just keeps going. It's just a gift that keeps on giving. That's why I can never get anything done. But as we're down here, this is already down here. Does this stay down here, or do I add that back up next to the Stranger Things set? Or does it just stay out here and it's just here? I don't. That's the set I don't know. It does look very, very pretty. Or it would go in a Kallax cube and it would go on display. And then that's the next thing we've got to do. I've got to make space in here, measure it all up. I know the lighting's dreadful. If I turn the lights on, it'll pulse. The other lights aren't plugged in because obviously it quite literally flooded in here. But yeah, we'll see what's what. So you're going to come with me now. It's going to get quite emotional quite quick. Right, you are up there. I am following you up. I'm literally climbing the fence and I'm just going to jump on the roof and hope for the best. If this goes wrong, you'll know about it. Right, we are there. Okay, climbing away. So that's not exactly ideal. So how bad is this? Luckily the wind's calmed down a little bit, which is nice. So I just need a new bit of felt and to smash that down. But it's ripped loads and loads of nails out. Loads and loads and loads of them. So that's not exactly ideal, but we'll see what happens with this. Now, this is what I'm hoping about. Is it full? No, of course it is. The joys. Is that the reason why it's leaking? It must be, surely. Look at all of that. That's disgraceful. Because where I am now is where the crack is. And there's no split in the felt on this side. So I think if I can clean all of this off, we should be good to go. Right, that is done. Not really thought this through because I don't have a ladder. So what I'm going to have to do is hopefully not fall off the roof. Check me out. See? That's step number 2. You still coming with me? Step number 3. Right, you're going to have to turn off for this one. Right, first part was successful-ish. So, like I said, I haven't got a ladder that will reach, so I've just got to jump the fence, jump up onto the roof, and then just jump back down and hope for the best. So, haven't died yet. Now, I am going to have to obviously patch all of this up, but I need all of that to dry. So I know that that is now going to be drying off and I can do something with that. This is a very, very big problem because obviously you can now hear it getting gusty again and there is dark clouds coming, which is not exactly ideal because that takes all the felt off. The whole under bit will be exposed and then everything is just going to flood if we're going to have some rain over Christmas, which we will do, which means I can't start this and all of this will have to come out, which means there'll be nothing Lego related getting done in this video, so fingers crossed we can be positive. I've got some roofing nails somewhere, I just need to tuck underneath, get them, jump back up with you with the hammer, and then just smash it all down, and then we can finally get going. There we go, bodged and down. So he is down tight enough, hopefully, so as long as the wind doesn't get up too much, we should be good. Right, well, I didn't blow myself up, so I apologise on that. I know that would have been highly entertaining. It's patched. It will do. I know you're not supposed to use that, but it doesn't matter. I'm ripping it all off, and then I can cover everything, and then cover all the holes, and then put it down properly. Managed to pin it back round on itself, so the wind shouldn't get back underneath. If I had a long enough staple gun, I would have just staple gunned the edges. Like I said, it's about to start raining. I've got absolutely no choice. So hopefully the gutter's sorted, so there'll be no more leaks. That just will stay on for the next couple of days, and then I can get that fixed just after Christmas, because don't forget we are literally just before Christmas, and I've got a funny feeling where I would have gone to get this from. The felt is now closed because of the time it is in the afternoon, but it is what it is. So back to the Lego. That's a bit of DIY. We'll see how long that lasts for. So with this, like I was saying, I was thinking of maybe having a Kallax unit there and a Kallax unit there. Now the plan of that is to have a very, very nice backdrop, as I was saying, with regards to doing the unboxing videos in here. Now I've got these nice lights. It means I can set these up permanently, and it also means where I've got all of these oversized screws and bits and pieces, I can then use this as a building table. So it means I can build in here, and then I can do the unboxing, and then I can then do a disaster video of me trying to then carry it up the loft ladders and put it on the display. Obviously for the massive sets like the UCS and stuff, they'll have to be built, and that'll just be a nightmare in the actual room they need to be built in. But all of the smaller stuff, it can be done in here. The lighting's just much better in here when the lights are on and running properly, and it just means I can actually use a proper camera, not the GoPro, and you can actually see everything without it being all blurry and fuzzy. So, like things like that. I've not been able to do anything like this. I could have built this and got this up, but I just can't. I can't get it done. Actually, thinking about it, that's going to need to be added into our walkway. So does this go right beside the He-Man castle? Something to think of. Right, I'm going to pull these bits and pieces out, I think. and then get the tape measure out and see exactly how big the Kallax units are. So before I moved anything, I wanted to make sure that they would actually fit in this corner, especially underneath the light. Now these A8 cubes are 58 inches in length, which takes us to basically the top of Wolverine. And I'm pretty sure that is what you guys and girls see on the unboxing videos anyway. So if that is the very, very top, it then allows me to put something like that on top of them if need be. Or, I don't know, like the UCS tumbler, which is actually up in the loft, that can come back down. That would be nice to have on display, and potentially one of the Star Wars things as well. And then I've got all the other cubes, he says. So it's more than likely going to be a trip out, in a different video, not this one, there's far too much to do on this one. But what I can do is bring all the sets that are going to go in the cubes and put them on this table behind me just here. All of these bits and pieces, because this doesn't leak. Yes, external hard drive, so that's why I know that this bit's safe. I've just got to think of what I'm going to do with this. More moving of stuff onto stuff. I hate doing it this way, but I nearly got carried away. I was like, yeah, we're off to IKEA, we're going to get this. I thought, well, if I commit and the roof leaks again, it's going to ruin everything. So I really need to wait to see where else it's leaking from, to then catch the drips, which is really annoying. But at the same time, what we have got as a bit of a positive is the depth of a Kallax will stick out 15 inches, which is basically exactly to where this is. Now, I do have a spare IKEA table with me, which is this thing just here. So what I want to try and do is get this on the angle, put the little seat behind it, just to make sure that I can actually still get round the table. Because what I don't want to end up doing is having the table so close to this, I have to crawl underneath the table, because that's the problem I had with this, because that's where this was originally. And then I'm using these teeny tiny things for an unboxing bit, and if you didn't realise, I've actually got two of them stacked on top of each other because they're just not big enough. Now these can then potentially go back up in the actual main Lego room, and we can make other displays with them, or temporary displays or anything like that. So it's a little bit annoying with the dates, because obviously Christmas is Christmas, but between Christmas and New Year they're shut, and that's the only time that I've got off. So the only time really I could get my teeth sunk into this is at the time where they're not open. But again, it's just poor forward thinking on my behalf, but then at the same time I wasn't expecting Armageddon and a flood in here. But if we can get it all prepped and ready, and then we can just come in when it's raining and see what it's like. If it's okay, I can then just shoot off between Christmas and New Year. Probably have to get 2 to start with, and then maybe get another 2 more, and then figure out what is going to happen with this middle piece here, because they're going to, well, yeah, there'll be a bit of a, potentially a bit of a gap behind it. So I might be able to fit one of these lights over the top and have that behind, but you wouldn't actually see the pole. I'm not 100% sure on that. So there's bits and pieces that I need to think out, because when I commit to it, it's quite expensive getting 2, 3, 4 of these Kallaxes, especially if it's not going to work. And obviously I don't want to get it damaged. So let me get this table in place. In fact, what I might do is put this table, bodge it on something, and then we'll get back up in the Lego room. Right, after plenty of measuring, it's not going to work. What will work is this back wall though. So rather than having it, because I wanted basically to create a V shape with me sat there, and it's not going to work at all because the table is just going to stick out too much, I think. Whereas if it was flush and flat, I can then literally just have the table really close to the display, and then you'd see the set and the displays behind it, and then all I'd have to do, what I don't want to do is have to move the table out of the way to do other bits and pieces. So that's not going to work either. Gonna need a bit of thought, this one. Right, I have had a think, which is always a worry. Now, I think this is actually probably the better wall, because it'd be like that. Just imagine the display behind me, half decent lighting. The issue is, it's the lighting in front, because when you've got these lights set up, it's quite difficult to do, because that is where the Kallax would be. Then you've got the width of the table, and then all of a sudden you haven't got much left, and Smudge has come to say hello. So, hello Smudge, careful. So that is the thinking behind that. But I guess if I go left to right rather than the corner, it does mean that I could probably just put 2 tables side by side. The nice thing that I've got for the camera, it clips on anything, so I might just be able to clip that on anywhere. But I just want this walkway. That's basically what I want. I want to be able to get in and out and not crawl underneath the table. So I was umming and ahhing whether to just basically crack on with this project in this upload. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to have to hold fire in here, which is going to be a bit annoying. only because the floor is still soaking wet. And oh, not soaking wet, but it's all damp, and well, you can see the difference in colour. So that all really needs to dry out first, because what I don't want to do is obviously start putting all those bits and pieces down. Now, again, it's still very, very wet by this kettlebell, so you can see just in front there's a puddle there still. So I need to really, really sort of dry all of this out and then just see exactly what's what. But I could potentially later on just stack all of this on here, and then I just need to measure up and potentially get a half decent sized Kallax. And I don't know how tall to go, because I want the roof height to be able to display bits and pieces on, so maybe just 8s. 16 could work. The 20 is 1 cube too tall, I think, so I don't think that will work. But it's a tricky one, because I want to get this done for the new year so I can start doing the unboxing reviews and stuff again, because it's just a good bit of fun. But like I said, I can't start. Do I wait until it pours down again? That hasn't ripped off yet. I need to patch that all back up. There's plenty of stuff for me to do, but it's a 45-50 minute drive each way. It's going to basically take a good few hours to get the unit to come back. And then I don't even know I've got the space in here to actually build it. That's the problem. But we'll worry about that probably now in a different episode or different upload. Potentially I will crack on with this after I brought the bits and pieces up and down. So what I might do is just, like I said, get the bits and pieces on here, and then clear that backing off, get a tape measure to it, find out exactly what the depth is, for example, from the edge of this shelf to the back, and if it will just slot in that gap. And if it will, I could just make basically a wall of the back. I think that would just be easier. And then I've got this walkway where I am now that I can just get out, get back in again. I think it would be a little bit easier. It would look better as a corner, but I just don't think that's going to work. But we'll see. Right, you can tell this is a Christmas special, part number 2, because I actually have to clear these shelves to get these shelves on top of these shelves, to then empty the top, ready for the stuff that's coming down. So if I do it the other way around, I'm just going to trip over myself. So if I can get this off without breaking it, that would be fantastic. There is an idea of using the back of this for a display piece for Star Wars, because I think the back of this looks absolutely outstanding. It is massive as well. So far so good. It does come apart. I could potentially carry it up like a pizza box, but that is a rather close-up look at what that looks like, and that is all the detail on that. And yeah, that is, the whole table's gone. So eating that up, but that'll go back up onto here in a second. I just want to push these all the way across, figure out exactly what's what, and then just get all of that off and then run away. Now, I'm not saying the shelf has just fallen off, hit the light flap, hit the Colosseum, and there's pieces on the floor, but there is a very, very good possibility that's what's just happened. And I'm also not saying that the light might have just fallen over and this board is actually wider than the room that I'm in, and I'm stuck. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but it is also another good possibility. It may not be pretty, and it definitely isn't clear, but we are moving on to the Lego room again, because I just can't be bothered to keep getting trapped under that big bit of wood. I need to saw it down, which means it's got to go outside, and by the time I get it outside, it's going to start raining again. So I'm not getting wet for no reason whatsoever. So we'll face this problem in a few hours' time. Right, we are back up here. Christmas jumper is on. I will do my best to stay in the Christmas spirit, because this is what it's all about, and it is just a bit of fun, but it's just really annoying when you've got to move all those bits and pieces, and it's just, it is what it is. Now, obviously, the problem I've got is I said I was going to move everything to clean the table, and you saw how we left it. So what I'm going to have to do is have a table for stuff that I think will just go down there. The stuff that we're not going to use. So I don't think, he says, we're going to use a pirate. So the pirate can go in the, that can go in the Kallax. Not too sure what to do with the fishing store. So that could potentially go. The A-frame cabin could go in the display downstairs for the unboxing, if we don't use that for our Marvel display. Not sure, but I'll carry on. I want to obviously get the cardboard and everything off. I've actually done a load in here, but you can't tell because I just keep moving stuff around. So everything on top of the service, I haven't touched that yet. But I will probably catch back up with you in about an hour's time. 5 minutes later. He says an hour, 5 minutes later. So that's moved. He-Man Castle can go there, and I think that is that run done, because then it's very much a case of, do you think I should get Snake Mountain? I would quite like some of the Pokemon stuff, in all fairness, but again, that could go on the units down at the bottom. Another big thing when we get to it is that in the far right hand corner was perfect. That Superman display was perfect. Sorry, Spider-Man display. The height. I've got a very funny feeling with the Sandman edition, it's going to hit the roof. So that's got to go somewhere else. And then what goes there instead, I don't know. I don't know if we can have something flying there, put some of the vehicles there. That top piece, like I said, all of that is our superhero display. There is a Batman shadow box in that corner somewhere. I just need to get the Disney castle down and out the way. That box needs to shimmy over. So we've still got loads and loads to do. Right, so progress has been made. The castle is in. Not too sure what the Ferrari's doing there, but the castle is there. And that one has disappeared because that has now been thrown underneath that. I say thrown, placed delicately. Also, underneath the table has also been cleared, and some of the boxes are starting to get stacked up there. Flat pack loads of them. They're actually the ones that are in the process of being built, so I can't do much with them because obviously the gunship is over there. And I think that is going to be the next plan of attack. Get that gunship finished. I found the piece that pinged off, so that's good because I've started to tidy underneath that table as well. So there's lots of floor space appearing, but it doesn't look like much has been done. Once that gunship is in situ, I think what we'll do is we'll then start working on this table. Then at some point I've got to go back down to the new disaster area into the unboxing bit, because I've just remembered that where that board fell. Remember that board that fell? I propped it up. There was Christmas presents under there. So I've got to make sure that they're not damaged, which should be fantastic. And then I've got to wrap them, because I've completely forgotten to wrap them as well. So, not ideal. Anyway, so we will continue, we'll move on, and then that is now there. Well, I have done a thing. Big balls and all, they are both in. I think that one is actually built spot on, and that one might be a little bit wonky, so we might have a wonky ball, but it happens to the best of us. Now you can see you've got all of these bits and pieces on the front. It is 100% complete. I don't think I've got any weird and wonderful pieces left. The only bit that I need to hunt down is that, because there's no way that should not be on the set, so I will hunt that down at some point when I can be bothered. It must be on the wing underneath or somewhere. But this was going to get interesting, because that white thing goes through that thing, and that's how it sits apparently. So that's your stand. I put the sticker on as wonky as I possibly could to trigger as many people as possible. So 532 pages, 914 steps, and the circular ring is the last thing to do, and then it goes over. So I'm going to have to plonk you down. Now she is a girthy thing, so this could go. I could just leave. I could just not put it on the stand. Oh, what am I doing? I don't even know where to pick it up from. Now I got a bit of a problem, I think, because the second this turns, I'm going to have to put it on the stand that way, because if I go to turn it, the wing's going to hit the table, because it is a beast of a thing. Now can I just get my finger underneath that? Yes. Is it heavy? Quite. Is that all it does? Oh my days, is that right? Can I let go of this? Well, check that out. That is insane. Look at the size of that. So that IKEA table is 1 meter. That wingspan is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Stud wise, like I said, I do a full unboxing video. This was supposed to be the Christmas special, and I have now managed to finish it, so which is very, very good. If I can be bothered, I could add this on as a bit of bonus footage. Shall I do it? Shall I do a live bit? Yeah, probably be a good idea just to see it all finished. There we go. So you're going to see that bit twice, I think. So that is what I've said in the other bit. That is weird mixing it all together. And I've got a tiny little fly that won't leave my eye alone. So that needs to bugger off. Now, this is where it's going, over there. It can't go the other way, I don't think. Can it? How much does it overhang? So let's flop you there. Can I just pull this by the stand? Oh, yes, I can. Oh, wolf. Oh. Oh, that's exciting. It fits that way. I was not expecting that. Which way do we have it? Do we have it side on? That little fly. Or do we have it forward facing? Because obviously side on like that with the stand, it's gonna... I think it might be a bit of an issue when we get closer to there, because this is actually going to overhang. Well, you can see it's actually overhanging onto the next table. So that is going to be a no-go from that. So I need to keep it close to me, because like I said, this is going to be a full-blown unboxing video. If you already watched this, then you're not going to watch the unboxing video, but yeah, never mind. So I need to get this placed, and then we can carry on coming down into this bit, because I've just got bits and pieces absolutely everywhere. And then we're going to have to go down into the disaster zone, try and get those Christmas presents, and then probably wrap up what has been quite a successful day one. So to quote Rocky, it is not all sunshines and rainbows, because I've just tried to move that over. This is super sturdy, but again, apart from this door, now I'm going to go back through the instructions to make sure that I don't understand why I've got a brand new bag. Because I opened this up in anticipation that I'm going to need them, and I haven't used a single one of them, because there's 6 in there, so I'm not too sure what that's all about. Now, it is super sturdy even if those 6 are missing, but I have no idea where they're supposed to be going. But more importantly, this is really starting to bug me, because I do not want this to keep falling off, and this is a right swine as well, because it starts to take everything else off. I didn't push it from there, it was just sliding across the table and it fell off, because it's only on by a little bit, because it only goes, it's one strip of Technic, so it's just that one little run that holds all of that together. So I will repair it, leave it there, because I'm going to do the unboxing video up here, because obviously this is going to go a little bit further back, but you can see again just the scale of how big that thing is. It is honestly unbelievably impressive in person, and the fact that it's got really bright, nice red vibrant colors on there, it really stands out. This is the first big UCS Star Wars set I've gone, yeah, fair play. That's very good. And with the fact that the Avengers Tower is going to be behind it, and you've got all the other Marvel bits and pieces behind it as well, I think that will work. I think that will work quite well, because I think that's where it's going to go, or it's going to go on this table. And then we're going to have table 1, table 2, and then table 3. But I am very quickly running out of time, so I do need to get this repaired. Then I need to run down and actually get the presents. Then I've got to wrap them up. See what I did there? And then I've got to start editing the video together tonight for tomorrow, which is actually this that you guys have already seen, but you won't see. It's all very confusing, this YouTube stuff, but we're going to get there. So again, last look at this. I won't bore you with this again, because you'll catch back up with me in the disaster area, I think. Right, we are back in the disaster zone now. I need to try and squeeze through, because these were the ladders that didn't reach. I had these at the front, and I just ended up climbing around the side, because this actually, well, you can see it's got a little bit of height to it. So we did okay. Now I need to make sure that over here... Oh no, it's fine, land on the Viper tube. That's okay then, because there's a bag or 2 of bits and pieces there. There's a bag of stuff there. Can I show that off? This is going to be shown after. This is going to be shown after Christmas. So, this is Jay's Toy Collections UK's Christmas present. There you go, Jay. So, if in doubt, keep calm and have a good one. So there we go. So hopefully, again, all of you lot are going to be having a lovely Christmas. There's Pumpkin. Hello, darling. You okay? What are you doing down there? Super fluffy. Yeah, super fluffy. Yes. So she's waiting to go. She's wondering why we're in here, and I've locked her in. Now, I know the like pulses in this camera, so I'm not going to be in here too much. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'm going to call it quits now, get a lot of editing done, and then I can carry back on with this in the morning. But something I have done, and I'm very happy about, is I have just found another Legacy tin which has Pixel. Now Pixel was only available in one very expensive set when she first came out, and that is currently available. Now I'm saying that now because this is going to be coming out before, well, I can actually do the magazine bit, because I can't do the magazine bit until this room is all sorted again. So I made the decision, I think, that I am going to go and get the units, obviously, once we know that this isn't leaking, and I can get some storage containers as well. I will tomorrow check to make sure that that in there where Pumpkin is stood is not damaged, because I haven't opened that up since the main flood, and I have been asked quite a few questions about if the doors, how they work and all that kind of thing. So you will catch me back in here tomorrow. Different day, and we are back at it. Now, I was actually hoping this is all a bad dream. Clearly it wasn't, but I've gone up to the shop, got myself some more rocket fuel so we can smash that out. So all I want to do now is actually get this out the way, get this table out the way. I want to give it as much floor space as possible, because I have a plan, and I think it's a half decent plan. So let me run you through the plan as I get the bits and pieces up on the IKEA website at the same time, so you guys and girls can see what I'm thinking. So this back wall where we've got the brackets going over from that bracket just there, because I'm still going to keep shelving across into that wall, I think. So there'll be a Kallax unit kissing that bit where that bag is, basically, and I think I can fit at least 2 12 units across here. And as you can see, they come in different colours, so I'm going to figure out exactly what colours I want, but I think I'll be able to fit 2 across. I'm going to get the tape measure out once it's actually clear. Now, in front of that, I'm thinking 2 tables side by side as well, and I think they do them in the larger table, so I think you can see these in 1.5 meters, and again, got to figure out if I want it in white or black. On the one table will just be where I can sit and actually have the box in front of me and do the unboxing, and the other table I'm thinking of having a turntable, which would be quite nice. And then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with these two, because these could be used back up in the actual Lego room itself. We could add some height somewhere. These luckily just screw off, so that's absolutely fine. So yeah, it's just a case of figuring out what will work best with regard to those units. So it's 2 units, 2 tables and a turntable, I think, to go in here. I've got the lighting and everything. We'll probably do all of that as one thing. So that'll be from leaving here, going to IKEA, coming back, getting it built and getting it done will be a completely different thing. But if we can get it prepped in this one, then we will do. And then I'll see if Jay's Toy Collection UK would like to go for a trip. But what I need to do is this bit of wood, genuinely, all jokes aside, is actually longer than the width of this room. And I don't particularly want to cut it down too much. So I might just put it back very, very across the floor and then worry about everything else after, because I am coming all the way back to here. So we have all of that space as the back wall. And I also thought this was a dream, which was me knocking all of those bits and pieces off. Yes, it really was a blur, but we did manage to get some bits and pieces done. So, like I said, all of this needs to be tidied up. My plan is all of that wood can just be stored over that side, and I might make some custom shelves for now. Don't particularly try to get rid of all that material, to be honest. That's the reason why, because it does cost quite a lot of money. I think then over a long period of time, that back piece as well will probably just be Kallax units. I might just get one big 16 in there, or just measure it up, free up this desk, and then we'll see. But like I said before, I cut myself off, we're starting from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bays for the IKEA bits and pieces. Need to get this back up, get these tables off, get these down. I need to get these lights all put back down, or just out the way, which is much easier said than done, because directly behind me is just boxes of Christmas decorations, empty boxes, ready for to be put back in a week or two's time. So I'm sort of slithered at the moment, but again, no room, but we'll get it done. Right, tape measure is out. Tables have been flat packed to a degree. The lights definitely have been. So these things are teeny tiny. Looks like they're still complete. They're just now shriveled, and then the stand is still on there. Now that is what I was thinking with regards to just one table, obviously normal height. It's quite handy to have this side by side. I know these are 55 by 55. But the second I put these two together, I don't think there's any way from there to there is going to fit both of those units. So I might have to rejig it ever so slightly, or figure out if it will just go from the back window, that back wall where the glass panes are for a window, through, and then just see where it finishes, because this thing is quite big. Now we know the height of this, where are we, comes up to 112, which is basically where the Wolverine's head is. That's not too much of a problem. But 147 seems to be quite wide. Right, we are getting serious now. Dimensions are out. Now, we know the height of these things are basically to the Wolverine's head. That is not the issue. It's just the width. Now, it's always deceiving when you start to empty the space off. Now, these units are 112 centimeters in width. Now, if I went from the white to white, right round the side, it is actually bigger than the two just. So if I was to push it into that corner, you would have one just overhanging, and then it'd be another one just overhanging, and then that should be all right. It's not a problem at all. I do have more space to play with because it's just going to be off center. So the bit in that corner you're not going to see at all, which is fine. So we're going to be off center with regards to the display, but it does give us quite a lot of ceiling height across the top, which is all right, because obviously with the larger units, if we're just coming from here above, you'll be able to fit anything over. Now, it's a bit deceiving because obviously that is massive, but it's also at the highest part of the roof, because as we know, in everything in the UK, it slants massively, so you can see how that just gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and we lose height. So we've just got the Disney castle on the box, and that is literally touching the top, and we've still got that much on the side. So with regards to sets and things, it's going to be a little bit fruity, but I will double check and write down the full measurements. And then what I need to do is actually then pull all of this stuff, which is some of my work stuff, out. I've got to put all of that on the table, which means I'm going to have to make this side messy, because the floor is so wet there. I had no idea it was that bad. That box will be checked before the end of this video is up, so we will check that. I think that's okay. But the stuff that is behind the camera is really, really wet. So I need to let that floor dry, and then don't forget, I then need to get up there and just double check it's not leaking, and figure out what to do with this, because it looks like either the board is split or it's just where it's been cut, and it just needs to be potentially propped back up, because it is covered on the other side, and that's where the guttering was. So I think it was just coming up and through and down, but it seems to have pushed it all through. So it was coming through here as well, so you can see where that is soaking wet. So there is a gap there, but it is covered, so hopefully it will start to dry out, and we might have got away with it. Right, I know I said I was just going to leave it be, but this is what is still wet. This is what I didn't know about, and I have a very bad feeling. That's why I've just grabbed the camera. I've just moved this welly, hang on, and it's full. It's full of water. Oh, look at the state of it, look. It's, yeah, I don't know if this is picking it up. It should do. I can hear it. I don't even know what's in this bag. Oh, quite important stuff, brilliant. And this, can you hear it? That is how much water came off, and of all the places for it to fall into, a waterproof welly, at least you know these work. So B&Q, well done. So I now need to, yeah, they are. Can you see it? Let's have a look. Which is in there? Oh, got my own little water display going on in there. Happy days. So I can pour that out. At least that's not over the floor. And then this, slightly annoying, but I won't cry over that. That can just, I pretend that never happened. That is, well, that's dead. Right, hopefully now, I just don't know what's in that box. It's sealed. And it's a worry, because that is on the floor. So I think that's the last thing I need just to prop up. And then I'm going to pretend this day never started, and then come back in here. This is going to take a couple of days to dry now, so like I said, I'll probably come in here Christmas Eve, see what it's like, which is only tomorrow, so I can do an update on this. We'll be in the other room tomorrow, and then this project will start in a new video after Christmas when this is all dry, and like I said, hopefully it's rained a little bit by then. Right, that's the day. That's the DIY section potentially over for today. Right, we are Christmas Eve, so we are the following day back into what is less of a disaster than what it was the other day. Apart from that's now fallen off, but we'll worry about that. Now I need to get that as an unboxing video done at some point today, and it will be the last unboxing video hopefully in here, because then I can just spend all my time sorting out that other area. I actually just stuck my head down there and it's still soaking wet, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Now, Ninjago, So a metre long table. We know what the length and the space is of the new units. Do I have all of those in a long straight line with the new one? And that's our top of the backdrop, which frees up just a table up in here. I don't know. So I'm going to need to have bits and pieces on display. I love the Ninjago stuff. I just don't know if it looks better up here, or if it would look better on camera for the unboxing, because that is going to be next disaster upload will be me. Oh god, it's painful. Planning the disaster series. The next episode will be me actually putting all the units together, then it'll be naked, and then start of the year will be what comes down, because obviously we moved all of these modulars. Now they always look nice in a straight line. I think a lot of you do like how that looks. After I do have the UCS version of that, but I can't build it because it keeps falling apart, so I've just refused, and that has just been dumped in a box. Now I've either got 1 or 2 big UCS sets I can just put on display up at the top, or I could have that as a long thing, so I'm not too sure. But as it stands right now, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing. Like I said, I want to do this unboxing video, but it's an absolute disaster behind me. But to be honest, I don't think I've got much of a choice. But I do like, stood here, how all of that across the back is looking. So after leaving it a day and coming back up, I think it works well. Just got to figure out what we're going to do in the far corner. Right, I'll continue. So today is Christmas Eve. This is the day after yesterday of me messing around with what I was doing yesterday. It's been a blur, a whirlwind. So what I need to do is I need to do an unboxing video for this, because the second this gets put into place, I don't want to keep moving it forward and back. And then at least that way we can start making a display with all the other little bits and pieces before we get down and I actually buy all the bits and pieces that need to go into the unboxing area. Now there is a bit of a dilemma, as there always is. Ninjago. Now that looks absolutely stunning, I think, like that. Obviously it needs a little bit of TLC, that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days, and obviously get this finished and all that kind of nonsense. But does it stay up here, or does it go down on the new display in a long straight line as the backdrop, just like that? So we could have it basically like that, but down in the other room, and that'll be right across the top of those new units, because that is going to be something that will be up for discussion sooner rather than later. So I'm getting that out there now, because you're going to be watching this. As you're watching this, I'm going to be filming the next one, and then the one after that is probably me adding in all the sets to the units just to create that backdrop, because like I said, I want the tables in front of it, some of the Lego sets behind, and I just don't know what sets to put there. I'm not going to put any of these sets down, because obviously this is all for the superhero section, which, to be honest, needs a lot of work. But the second this gets put into place, the cantina can move, that can move, then we've got space and a rough idea of how much space we've got left on the other table. A good 60% of the stuff that is on this table will go down onto those units, but again, you can see what's happening because I haven't got the units here. I can't move anything, but I can't build the units until that room dries up. So I'm just doing my best to be active rather than just sat there having a sulk and a cry. And yes, I know I have the Avengers tower ready to build, but again, I can't do anything with it, because if I start building it on this table, then I've got nowhere to move stuff. So that's going to have to wait probably until next year. That's fine. I don't care, to be honest. It's still in the shipper box, and my cat is using it. It's a nice high riser for her cat bed at the moment. So today is Christmas, and that is Rocky all the way back there. These cats get absolutely everywhere, but space. So Christmas Day, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully you're having a lovely day, morning, or whenever you're watching this. Obviously, it'll be well past Christmas, but I'm still wishing you a Merry Christmas on the day of Merry Christmas of Christmas. Yes, Christmas. Right, so table, space, nice and simple. Now what I want to do is I want to move that over. I did say options with the cantina. Now, if the cantina goes here as a sort of closed unit, it does get lost, because it looks nice, but look how small it looks compared to the roller coaster and that. So in comparison of size, because it is the Master Series, not the Ultimate Series, I do believe. So I did figure that one out after a little bit of research. So I think this needs to be open, and then it will allow me to have a ship big in front. But this also, I'm not too sure to have this side on or forward on. And obviously we put that there yesterday as a comparison. So what I think we might be able to get away with is potentially, even on Christmas Day, I forget to do something. I've just ripped the back flap off. Look what I've just done. I've just ripped it's the door. It's the other door of all things to rip off. I've just ripped the door off, catching it on the instruction booklet on the back. That's slightly annoying because that one was actually on proper. Right, so if I can... Right, that's now off. So at the moment it is doorless. Now, I could potentially have it like that. Something else just fell off then, and that's just gone behind the table. Oh, I thought this was going to be a nice, enjoyable segment for me, and it's now turning into a nice, enjoyable segment for you. So I've got two things to fix, and I've got to find that piece. That's going to be absolute nightmare because I've now got to climb over the table to reach it, which means I've got to move again anyway. Now, I have it either like that, and it towers that, which I don't think will work. It needs to be the other way. But I would like to see the front of the ship rather than the back. So what I do need to do is customize the stand over to the other side, which is something that I will do later on. I can do it in situ. I just need to, because with it spun round how it was, obviously the stand's facing inwards, and I would like to see that. So my plan is to have this open like so on this table. So it just proves how big the wing is on this, because I can get the whole thing underneath it and not have to worry whatsoever about ceiling height, and I can just have that in the corner as our bar, and then I can start to tile everything from there. Now it just depends if I want that bit flat against that bit of table, and then we've got the bar there, and then we start adding in all of the other buildings. Now obviously the thing that I could do in front of this is then put the Razor Quest. And I was thinking the Razor Quest on a flight stand, so it's slightly higher, so you can see everything, because I don't think the Razor Quest is going to fit behind it because of the ceiling height. Saying that, he says that is nowhere near the roof, so potentially I could have the Razor Quest behind it and then bring this all the way forward, and if I was to do that, I might be able to get that in a long straight line, because that is also the other thing that you can do with this. So if you didn't realise how many different things you can do with this, and I've got to be careful because all of the minifigures from multiple sets are in here, so I do not want to be playing pickup for all of those, but this should, if I remember rightly, do that, and then you can have it as a long straight line, which I think is probably the best way to display it in this scenario, where you can then get all the different bits and pieces. But if I was to do that, probably want it closer so I could see it, so it needs to be up here somewhere, and then we have the next thing. But like I said, I haven't got the next bit, so you're going to see this well before I actually purchase anything else for any of it. I do, like I said, want to get it all tiled and everything for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repair these two. I'll spin that back round. We'll see what that looks like, because then what I want to do is I want to clear this space, and I'm stupid. What I want to do is actually try and get the Avengers Tower built over the next couple of days, because I want to have that as my first unboxing video for the new unboxing area, so I can do a comparison with the Daily Bugle. Now I know it's not ideal because I'm in the process of building this, and I'm in the process of building a couple of other things, and I am a moron for doing it, but I think it would make sense to do. And yes, the channel has had a complete rebrand, so it's now no longer the detached brick. The detached brick. We are now BLT, so we are Brick Life Travels. So it all got changed late yesterday. There's problems basically in the search engine, so the channel is now Brick Life Travels. Still going to be the same craziness, as you can tell, but yes. So the Razor Quest itself, this one next to this one, it's tiny. So do I need the big one, or do I keep the small one and just have the smaller ships? Do I have the smaller ship dangling off the roof? That's for you guys and girls to decide. But I think after making all that space, that doesn't work forward on. That needs to be spun. Put the wings, put the door panels back on it. I've also got this. So I have moved all of this over here ready to try and make some sort of display, just so we can see what table is left, because this is the Boba Fett throne room. So I want to have that in over here with all the tan. It's going to be an interesting display. We've got lots to put into it, but like I said, it's just going to go in there rough. And then we have got this bit that just needs a little bit of TLC to go in there as well. So I need to fix the wings, and then I think I'm going to potentially start the tower, because as it stands, obviously all of this needs to be tidy, which will be a separate video. All of this will be done when we do the actual Marvel bit before I do the boxing video. So I got to think a couple of weeks ahead. Like I said, no, it's not ideal. I could spend the next 2 days building all the Star Wars sets and having all of them ready. Or I start the Avengers Tower, because I did buy it for Christmas. And today is Christmas Day, like I said, so I could try and get that done. And then we can then have the next project ready to go as well. Always got to think so far ahead with these things. They take so long to build, as you know. But anyway, I will carry on and I will see what I can get up to. Right, just a bit of proof. This was actually what fell off. The big ball on the back, so the big shaft came off. These are now back on, and look, see, running smoothly again on both sides. So both the doors have been repaired. Now, got to be so careful where I push this from, because it's sturdy, but I'm always the kind of person that will just throw it around like an absolute moron and always find the weakest spot. So let's put you down, use 2 hands, slot you back down to here. So that is possibly where you're going to need to live. And then I can just reverse that back, and then that is what that looks like. And then once we figure out a permanent home, because that rear gun is really, really long, it sticks out onto obviously the next table, which is no good. So this could potentially come forward, and then we could raise these bits up. But don't forget, it's all going to be footpaths. So these massive pair of balls up at the front can just split it, so you can have them up. And then I think you'll be able to have a minifigure there, look, walking underneath. So it all works out to be okay, and then we can figure out what we want to do with that. And then this now over here is just the other bits and pieces, so they can all live there. I've just got to make the decision if I'm going to be stupid enough to try and do the Avengers Tower for the next 2 days, just build it and then put it in situ so it's ready for the unboxing video of Daily Bugles. I think that might be quite a nice way to start the new year off, because this is technically a 2024 project, and the Marvel stuff should have been finished in 2023. So we will see, but the ATT, in fact, if I put you that way so you can see, we did have that angled over. This is there or thereabouts done, because I was in the process of building this before I got set the challenge for this. And for some reason, I've also opened up the T6 shuttle, but I'm doing that as well because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I think it'll work well. I just need to make the rest of the space. This space can't really be made now, to be honest, until I've managed to get to IKEA and do some little bits and pieces. So it might be very much a case of continue with this once I finish building. And if I do get the Avenger Tower built over the next day or 2, I'll catch back up with you then, and then maybe start to wrap it up, because I can't do anything else down at the bottom. So I checked on that first thing this morning. It rained heavily, no more rain, which is great, but the floor is still very, very, very wet, and problem is now it's cold over in the UK, so it's going to take ages to dry out. So hopefully that'll be dry in 72 hours, all going well, and that's when I can then start in that other room, because obviously I keep saying it is Christmas Day today, but I don't think there's anything else I need to do now. I've just got to make the decision of, do I do the T6? Do I finish this? Or do I start the tower for over there? Right, it has just started to rain heavy. It's still Christmas Day, and I thought, right, I'll come in and have a look, see exactly what is going on. Obviously it's a dump, because remember we left it like this a couple of days back, and the floor does look like it's starting to dry off. And it is still pouring through the roof, so this is not exactly ideal. So obviously it wasn't the gutter, there's something else going on there, so I'm gonna have to get back up there and see if it's getting underneath the felt, or get myself a longer ladder and climb up behind. But it does look like, though, it's only this one place, so it's just here, which is absolutely fine. Everywhere else is dry. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time it's not exactly ideal, but it isn't dripping too heavy currently. That's all starting to dry off, that's all starting to dry off, but you can see it's just annoying because water gets absolutely everywhere, and I can't put a bucket underneath it because that bucket will just fill and then it's going to go everywhere. But the stuff has been moved, that is still safe. I know people have been asking me a few questions about that, so I will get on there. But I am now going to finish the day. I'm going to finish my Christmas Day in here, so I'm just going to pretend that this does not exist. You know, it's now starting to drip a little bit quicker. And I think to cheer myself up, I am going to open up that Avengers Tower and just tuck into it. So I will, like I said, catch up with you tomorrow, which will be Boxing Day. I was Going to tidy all of this up, ready for an IKEA trip. But it does now look like it's going to be a roof repair to finish this bit off, so at least you know how the video is going to end. And then maybe cry myself to sleep. And today is Boxing Day, so hopefully you all had a fantastic Christmas. Now this is going to be the last video within this segment. I am currently rendering a video for tonight's upload for Boxing Day, which is the Miniland from California. What a thing that is. I spent all morning sorting out the unboxing area, getting back up on the roof, trying to do some little bits and pieces, patching some bits and bits up. And now all I need is some basically sealant just to tidy up the inside, but it is still soaking wet. So I can pick that up tomorrow and do all the bits and pieces from IKEA. So that is going to be the following episode in the disaster series from this, carrying on with that whole area down there. And we're going to wrap the video up within here because I have started this. So I gave this a good go last night. We are already on bag 15 and 16. They are all the minifigures that are included currently. For some reason her hair's pinged off already, so that's not exactly ideal. And I have just started to put this together. Lots and lots of windows. It goes up quick enough because it's just very, very repetitive. Luckily I worked in retail and used to tag clothing, so I can just switch off and do that. And you do it in 20s, 30s at a time. Detail on the inside, I'll give you a sneak peek. That is what this looks like as he breaks everything. So you got the detail at the bottom, so it looks nice enough, and then you got it up at the top. But I really do think what I'm going to do is I will end up having it displayed side on like that with that open, I think, so I can see in it. Otherwise it's just going to be one big glass building, so at least I can see the glass from the front. You've got the front door on there. And then on that side, you've got the back with lots and lots of details, so you can make it all over the place. And that is basically going to go behind where that brick head is. And that will be the disaster episode after me doing the unboxing area. So that's why I'm trying to get this done. I don't think it's going to take too long. I think there's three instruction booklets. There's going to be a full unboxing video on this, but there's 3 instruction booklets. There is 52 stickers as well, so there's lots and lots of stickers on there. So that is what they look like. I should have taken a photo really before I started to do it all, but I just got into the swing of things last night and I didn't bother taking a photo, so it doesn't really matter. I'm sure there'll be an image online that I can just use. There is the Tesseract at the bottom. That is a big cube, and then you've got all of the other little bits and pieces. And Tony does look nice with the shield outfit, so that is the Tony variant just on there. But I think, to be honest, that is it. I have absolutely no idea how long this video is, so I do apologise if I bored you. If I have entertained you, fantastic. So, quick recap of things to come. Tomorrow, which it'll be next week for you, will be all of the bits and pieces in the unboxing area, as long as it doesn't leak tonight. We've got another massive downpour tonight, so if it's a puddle in the morning, I'm screwed. That's basically it. I'm still going to get the bits and pieces, but I am stuffed until I can then try and figure out exactly how the water's getting underneath, because the felt and things isn't ripped. So that is a bit of a head scratcher, but hopefully what I've done will sort it, he says. Then we have got obviously the project for all the UCS Star Wars bits and pieces. That will be our 2024 project. We are still in 2023. So by the end, or basically by New Year, I want all of this ready to be tiled with all the base plates down and everything that shouldn't be on here, like that. All these boxes in the new storage area that I'm going to be creating in there, and obviously the bits and pieces behind me. All of that will stay. Don't forget the bit for that comes out on the 1st of January, which means that's going to move, so that's going to have to get relocated, so we've got to put something else there. And obviously the Avengers Tower will have to be placed, but that will be in not the next episode, but the episode after, because obviously I'm still currently building it, so that will be in a week or 2 time for you. Then we've got to figure out what we're going to do with the Ninjago bits. They've got to figure out what we're going to do with everything else. But like I said, ideally I want it to look as neat and as tidy as what we've done, what I do believe right at the very, very start of this upload, which was get all of that in before we moved this. So guys, again, hopefully you had a fantastic Christmas. Obviously you're going to be watching this between Christmas, and this is just going to go up before New Year's Eve, I do believe. So this will be up the Saturday before New Year's Eve. So hopefully you see the new year in however you want to see it in. For me, I'm just going to fall asleep and get an early night. If you guys and girls are going to go out partying or build a load of Lego or whatever it is like that, let me know in the comment section below. The last couple of days with all the different uploads, like I said, I don't know how long this has been, so I do apologise, but I am going to wrap it up right now, and I'm going to carry on building the Avengers Tower as this gets rendered, and then it can all get uploaded on to YouTube this evening. But as always, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic new year, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.